a boy, I loved to draw. I didn't have any unusual talent. In fact, I wasn't that great. Most of my drawings revolves around creating spaceship scenes, army battles, and football games. I don't really remember really liking art class in school, but I loved to sit at home with a pencil and paper and create imaginary worlds. My greatest influence at the time was my grandpa, who had taken up painting and was willing to sit down with me and show me some techniques. I painted this eagle with his guidance when I was in middle school. However, as I grew and other interests grabbed my attention, the time spent in the world of creative imagination diminished. When I did draw, it was at times when I should have probably been doing other things. Like the time I spent an entire calculus class drawing a picture of Mike Tyson as a graduate. Or the time I copied beer advertisements or images of cigarette butts in English class. I had a sketchbook in college, but looking back, I remember feeling forced in the drawings I made. Most of it was filled with conceptual ideas and not really drawings. It wasn't until I saw a large retrospective of the work of the American artist Bruce Nauman at the Walker Art Center in the mid-90s that a real passion for the creation and possibilities of art flared up. With a huge range of work including sculptures, photography, neon, video, drawings, printmaking, and performance, Bruce Nauman represented someone who was pushing the limits of what art could be. I sat in front of his clown torture video for a long time and just imagined how much fun it would have been to create that work. During college, I spent my senior year deeply involved in the weekly creation of videos of all sorts for a small production group, and that same bug grabbed me as I was in my first weeks of graduate school for teaching. I would show up to class with stacks of art books from the library, waiting for the moment the class would end and I could dive into the lives of 20th century American artists. Along with Nauman, I was mesmerized by Robert Rauschenberg's Combines, the poetic storytelling and graffiti influence of Jean-Michel Basquiat, and after stumbling upon his work in a San Francisco gallery, the social narrative and mixed media of Raymond Saunders. Following grad school, instead of working in a classroom, I found myself living in Montreal with a group of artists and spending long hours at our 2,000 square foot warehouse on the 4th floor of an old clothing factory, scouring the streets and old warehouses for discarded materials like half-used paint cans, wire, pallets, and industrial fans. Instead of becoming a teacher, I wanted to live like one of my artistic heroes, poor, inspired, and dedicated to the exploration and creation of art. But with a part-time under-the-table job as a videographer and growing debt, I realized I might not have what it takes to live that life. I wasn't going to be Rauschenberg, living off of 15 cents per day for food. At 3 a.m. one morning, as I was preparing a number of pieces for an upcoming gallery show, I was hit with a strong sense of dread. What the hell was I doing? I had trained to be a teacher so I could change the world, and here I was staring for hours, self-indulgently, at one of my own paintings. A year later, I'd moved back to Portland and started my first year as an elementary school teacher, leaving my bohemian lifestyle behind. Now, 20 years later, I still have found ways to access and indulge in that creative bug. Most recently, my love of video and film has been given time, but drawing too has begun to make a comeback. A few weeks ago, I discovered the wonders of the iPad Pro and all the drawing tools it puts at my fingertips. And what I realized when I sat down to draw is that I still have that wonder and joy with a pencil in my hand right now. 40 years later, there's also a deep, meditative quality that comes with picking up a pencil and spending hours creating.